Hello there. Thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and boy, what a beautiful and early time for Marvin Gaye. My goodness, the summer of 1963, after 3 hit singles, finally allowed him to carry headliner status at a concert. Boy. And what's great about this poster is that all 3 singles are on there, and there's no B-sides or clunkers to mess things up. So that's just great. Wow. The Tilghman Press poster company out of Oakland, California, with a very familiar template by now if you're a poster collector or have seen some of my blogs. Standard 14 by 22 inch, cardboard boxing style window card. And a split fountain as well. As you can see, it goes from red at the top, morphing into blue, and then turning into purple. And you can really see the 2 changeovers, first in Marvin's first name there, and then in the photograph of Little Eva. So taking this baby from the top, up there in the red printing, since this is a tour blank that would change for every date, the Encore Ballroom in Seattle, Washington. I always mention I get a kick out of when Tilghman would put write out the name of the state after the city. Talk about 100% unnecessary, but just formalities, I guess. Then you've got Friday, August 23rd, dancing 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then there he is, marvelous Marvin Gaye, with the stock photograph for him of the era. The publicity shot that was used on almost everything right around now, including the tremendous Motortown Revue concert poster from, I think that was November, December, let's just say from the fall of this year. And then you've got the song titles, those 3 mixed in there, and that is really a big key, to me for any vintage concert poster. I mean, everybody likes them, but I seem to especially like them. So there they are, right around his name. Now, interestingly, Marvin started off his career with 3 non-charting singles, because he was doing jazz and standards. He didn't want to be an R&B star, even though he was signed to, Motown's Berry Gordy's company. So those didn't go anywhere, and instead they were on the Tamla label though. And interestingly, Gordy started Tamla even before he started the Motown label, and so besides Marvin Gaye, the Miracles, the Marvelettes, and Stevie Wonder were all on Tamla. But boy, then the summer of 1962 arrived, and the hits, they started coming. First one was Stubborn Kind of Fella, and it is in the smallest print here because it's the longest song title. And that pretty much put Marvin on the map there, his 4th single, first hit, top 10 rhythm and blues. But it did not expose him yet to mainstream artists because it did not get into the top 40 of the pop charts. By the way, he co-wrote that song. In fact, Marvin co-wrote all 3 of the songs on this poster, his first 3 hits. Then in December of 1962, again the year before this, Hitchhike came out, and of course on the poster, and that was sort of a medium hit, sort of slowly eked Marvin into the pop top 30, just barely, and number 12 on the R&B charts. Interestingly how it still wound up the top billed song here on the poster, but probably just the typesetter at Tilghman, probably just given song titles and told to put them in anywhere they would fit, Then again, he might have known the songs as well. Don't forget the Rolling Stones covered Hitchhike a couple of years later on their album Out of Our Heads. And then this spring, 63, came Pride and Joy, which made Marvin a national star by hitting the top 10 of Billboard's pop singles chart, and of course the top 10 of R&B as well. And so that's where Marvin was right now at the time of this poster, with those 3 out and just having become a top 10 pop star, so that's pretty cool. By the way, on all 3 of those hits, you know who sang background vocals on those? How well do you know your Motown history? Well, would you believe on prominent background vocals, Martha and the Vandellas, that's right. So rather than just tell you, I thought I'd flash this vintage 60s concert poster of their own. There they are, Martha and the Vandellas. And so after doing backgrounds on those 3 for Marvin, they found themselves, well, as a matter of fact, this very month, August of '63, they had a little bit of a record hit the charts called Heat Wave. that would turn them into stars, and so they would stop having to, sing background on other people's records. So what did Marvin do for his next single, released in September, by the way, the month after this? Can I Get a Witness? What did he do for background vocals? Well, how about the Supremes stepping in and handling background vocals on his fourth straight hit. Boy, even in the early days, Marvin sure had a way with the ladies. Wow. Okay, so let's not neglect Little Eva down there, who took her song The Locomotion to #1 on the pop charts at the age of 19. And that is something, by the way, that Marvin wouldn't do until I heard it through the grapevine 5 years later. #1 pop, huh? Now, I said Eva took her song, but actually it was written by Carole King and her husband Jerry Goffin, and Eva was their babysitter. So they actually wrote that song for her because they thought it was kind of, the funny way she would dance as a teenager, presumably around their house. And so they wrote The Locomotion and it goes to #1. That's just amazing. Little Eva, by the way, had just turned 20 years old this summer for the concert. Her follow-up single was Keep Your Hands Off My Baby, which did well in the charts, and which the Beatles performed on the BBC, and also which came out on their CD release of that, and also performed on their first British tour. But unfortunately, that's not on the poster. The song is sort of a, clunkily written out there on top of Old Smoky, but it really should have said Old Smoky Locomotion, which was a charter, not a big one though, for Eva, and of course it was a dance-crazed version of the traditional hit On Top of Old Smoky. And the poster finishes off with Reggie Taylor and his orchestra, but no picture. Boy, oh boy, marvelous Marvin Gaye in 1963, a newly minted national pop star, along with, of course, the R&B records and everything. So just a gorgeous, great condition too on this original Tilghman vintage window card. Just love it. Thanks a lot for dropping by, and hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.